How many of you are present in the class today? Just give me a shout out so that I can understand that you all are present. So we are going to begin the session slowly so that the others can join and don't miss it. Movis Malik. Yeah, Movis, good afternoon, dear. How are you doing? Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep, India's premier online test prep platform for all your UG entrance exams. And today we will be talking about how to prepare for the Symbiosis BBA 2022. And it is not going to be restricted to the preparation for 2022. Even those who are actually targeting 2023 may also take some help and guidance from this session. This is Pradip Sengupta, your friend and mentor and guide for VARC, and we are going to be discussing about the best strategy to ace the General English section in SET. Good afternoon, Mausam. How are you? Welcome to the session, dear. All right. So before we start the session, it is a very humble request from the entire team of BYJU'S Exam Prep that if you do like the session, don't forget to press the like button, subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends whoever is preparing for the SET or BB examination, law examination, so on and so forth. All right. So let us start the discussion. When we talk about the BBA exam, it is important to understand how does the section look like. Movies has a question, sir. I am doing well, but sir, I am always unable to remember the meaning and exam is on our head now, sir. So I hope you're talking about the vocab section, Movis. Yes. So if vocab is the problem, then I may have a solution for you. I would request you to stay through the session and we are going to be discussing some very important questions on vocab. Also, towards the end of the session, I will discuss some of the tips which will help you remember the words and you will not forget them ever in your life. Okay, so all those who are watching, I would request you to watch the video till the end. All right. Okay. So when we talk about the sections of BBA entrance exam, the SAT entrance exam, this is how the section will look like. It'll have general English, quantitative aptitude, which is maths, general awareness, that is GK, and logical reasoning, which is it's a mix of analytical reasoning as well as logical reasoning. And these are the numbers of questions that you will face in each and every section. It's 16 each for English, quants and general awareness and 12 questions on vocab problem de rahi I can understand. Okay, or vocab hi problem deti hai, right? So we will talk about the vocab strategy towards the end. All right. LR में 12 questions. So overall we'll have 60 questions to be attempted in 60 minutes. यहाँ पे एक चीज आपको जानना बड़ा जरूरी है. It is important for you to know that you must calculate the average handling time. The short form of it's AHT. Per question, what is the average handling time per question? Because speed is going to be of utmost importance. You have to show speed while solving the questions, and that is why AHT becomes very important. So 60 questions in 60 minutes, it means 1 minute per question. So you have to be definitely, very, very quick and accurate in order to answer all the questions, isn't it? Okay. So talking about the English language section, primarily these are the 7 areas on which you will be tested. Like Movis was asking me this question, sir, vocab is a problem. So if you look at the number of vocab based questions, synonym is a vocab based question, contextual vocabulary again is a vocab based question, antonyms vocab based questions, fill in the blanks and analogy, they all are vocab based questions. So if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 out of 7, this is the fraction. This is what your vocabulary will consume. So you must know the words, you must know your vocabulary to fill up the contextuals, antonym, synonym questions, and there will be two sections which are going to be grammar based. Let me write G here, which is prepositions and articles, fill in the blanks with prepositions and articles, spotting the errors with fill in the blanks and articles, and spotting errors or sentence improvements. These are the 7 areas of English. Now, I think it is a good news for you. There is no RC in SET BBA. Reading comprehension has not been featured. So what you have to do, these questions are pretty much straightforward. You will just have to look at the questions and answer them. So first of all, we will talk about some of the question patterns that you will face in your SET. And towards the end, we will talk about the strategy as to how to, score more in the VA section, in your verbal ability section, that we will discuss. All right. So can we start with the questions very quickly? Okay. The first question in front of you, it is a fill in the blank question. It says, these are the options and they are preposition based fill in the blanks. And this is the sentence. It says, despite being twins, the boys looked so different dash one another. What should be the choice? Then, with, to, from. Very quickly answer. So the question is, despite being twins, the boys looked so different dash one another. Different than one another, different with one another, different to one another, or different from one another. We know that different is what is it? It's an adjective. So what does different take as a preposition after it? Right? The answer is from. Yes, Movis, it is from. The option is D. Okay. Different from. Is the expression. But had the word been differ, right? Differ is a verb. With differ, we should have used with. Okay. Different from one another and differ with. Differ takes with, different takes from. So you must have a list of phrasal verbs ready, okay, or adjective plus preposition combination list ready, so that you can start preparing and solve such questions. Okay, so different will take from. This was the logical conclusion. Different will take from. So question 1, the option was D. Easily done? Yes? Alright. Let us look at one more question. Let us look at this one. It says, he was quick dash arithmetic but weak dash languages. A says in at, B says at in, C says at, and D says in. Okay, movies has keyed in. What about the others? Should it be in, at in, or in at? He was quick dash arithmetic but weak dash language. It is a very common sense question. It is testing your skills with prepositions. So you can understand very well from this question that you have to brush up your concepts on prepositions. Okay. The answer over here is B, at in. Now understand. We are talking about maths. Mathematics is a field, and there are 3 variants of mathematics, you can talk about arithmetic, you can talk about algebra, you can talk about geometry. So arithmetic, algebra, geometry, they are independent subjects. Maths is also an independent subject. Okay, so whenever you talk about a subject, you are always quick at a subject. That is number one. But you are weak in languages. You're talking about languages, not English language or Hindi language. Okay, so you can always be weak in language, but you're always quick or weak at a subject. This was the rule. This was the logic. All right. So I would suggest you a book, Wren and Martin. If you have it, well and good. If not, please buy a copy of it. And there is a chapter in this book which is known as Words Followed by Prepositions. It's a dedicated chapter, and this is a very important chapter for you, and it is present in Wren and Martin. There are other books also where you will find such a list of prepositions, but Wren and Martin comes, strongly recommended by many of the faculty members. All right. So what did we see? We have to be working on prepositions also. So answer is B, at, in. Remember. Okay. Let's look at the next question. It says complete the analogy. Complete the analogy. You read the question, I'll give you 1 minute, and then I will talk about it. Ria says provoke. Okay, fantastic. Encourage, discourage, pacify is to what? Now, analogy means to establish relationship between two words. How is encourage related to discourage? And you have to find the same relationship between pacify and the word asked. All right. Ria has answered provoke. Movis has also answered provoke. Let us see what the answer is going to be. Now, encourage and discourage, if you look at these two words, they are antonyms. Okay. Or opposites. Yes. Since the question stem talks about the opposite, this also will ask for opposite. Pacify is to what? Now, pacify means to calm down. Okay? To allay or make peace. Isn't it? Gruff means rough, as in a rough voice. Okay? Provoke means to instigate. Okay? Instigate. हिंदी में कहते हैं उकसा देना. So pacify अगर नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो क्या कर रहे हो? Instigate कर रहे हो. Provoke. Cut means to cut into two pieces. Spoil means to waste something. So pacify, the answer should be provoke. All right, a vocab question, mind you. So these questions are very, very common in your SET examination. You will find around 4 to 5 odd questions based on analogy only. Or since there will be 16 questions, at least 2 to 3 questions will be there based on analogy. All right. So most of you have answered it properly. Absolutely fantastic answer. Okay. Let us look at question number 4. Now this question is based on grammar. Okay, look at the question. It says the following sentence is split in 3 parts and each one is labeled A, B and C. Read the sentence to find out whether there is an error in any part. Industrialization has severely affected the environment and triggered global warming. A says industrialization has severely affected. B says the environment has triggered. C says global warming. D says no error. What is your point of view? Look at the question very carefully before you answer it. Mosam has answered B. Okay, Mosam. He has keyed in B. Okay. What about the rest of you? Ria says A. All right. Thank you, Ria. Movis says D. All right. No error. Fine. Okay. Let us look at the question very slowly and let's understand what the question is. Ria Bhatia says it should be affected, not affected. Okay. Let us divide the sentence into subject and predicate. Okay. We are talking about industrialization. This is the subject and this is the predicate. And a predicate always begins with a verb. Okay. Next time anybody asks you what a predicate is, you can answer that predicate is a verb. Always remember, predicate is a verb. Alright? Okay. Now there are two words. One is effect and the other one is affect. What is the difference? When you say effect, it is a noun. And when you say affect, it's a verb. And a verb must come right after the subject. Okay? Like subject plus verb. So if it is the verb, you must use affect. And if it is a noun, you must use effect. Try and understand this with the help of an example. Let me form a sentence for you. If I say, Movis says effect is verb as well as a noun, sir. No, Movis. Effect is a noun and affect is a verb. Alright? And I'll explain this with the help of an example. What is the effect of the news on him? What is the effect? Now in this case, effect is a noun. But if you have to use affect in the same sentence, what should you have said? You should have said, how did the news affect him? Okay, how did the news affect him? So in this case, industrialization has severely affected has a problem, and that is why A is the answer. In place of affected, we should have said affected. Okay, you needed a verb. Similarly, there are so many words like advice, advice. Advice ending with ce is a noun and advise ending with se is a verb. Alright, and these two should be treated differently when you're writing them in a sentence. Alright, this is what it is. Question 4, I believe it is clear to all of you. Let us look at question number 5. Again, a concept, an important concept is being tested through question number 5. The question says the following sentence is split in 3 parts and each one is labeled A, B and C. Read the sentence to find out whether there is an error in any part. Me and my sister went to the new mall for shopping. Me and my sister went to the new mall for shopping. What is your answer? Movis has keyed in A. Thank you, Movis. Wonderful. Mosam also says A. Okay. All right. So let us look at the question. The question says, me and my sister went to the mall for shopping. This is where the problem lies. Okay. Me and my sister. What is the problem? The problem is I should have said my sister and I. Okay. The first person should be followed by the third person. And what is the concept over here? The concept is, when do we use me and when do we use I? Now there is something in grammar called case, and there are three cases. Okay, the nominative case, the possessive case, and the accusative case. The accusative case is also known as the objective case. I becomes me, you becomes you, he becomes him, she becomes her, they becomes them, and we becomes us. Now please understand, we are going to use them only when these are going to be the subject of the sentence. In this case, me and my sister, this is the subject of the sentence, and whenever we talk about the subject, we don't use me, we use I. Okay, that is why the answer should have been I over here. You people have answered it absolutely correctly. Let me give you one more example, how the confusion starts. Let's focus on one more sentence. Okay, what if I say, let me write it down, it was me who saved you from the crisis. Do you think the sentence is right? When I say it was me who saved you from the crisis, it was me who saved you from the crisis, this is again wrong. Although it sounds okay. If it is spoken English, if you are speaking to somebody, it sounds fine. But you have to understand the predicate begins from here. Okay? The predicate begins from here. And as long as we are in the subject, right, we must use I, not me. Although the temptation to use me is tremendous. Right? We want to use me over here, but me is not correct. We should be using I over here. So, the concept of pronoun must also be brushed up before you attempt these spotting the error questions. Question number 5 clear? I hope it is clear. Okay? Yes, it was I. Correct. Movies has answered it. Let us look at question number 6. Substitute the phrase in bold with a word given below. Usually, no one gives a job to someone who runs away from the law. What do you call a person who runs away from the law? Ria has a question, sir. Is this the difficulty level of question in SET or are they tougher? Ria, we are just going through the questions which have been a part of Symbiosis once upon a time. And remember, the questions are never tough. The questions are going to be tricky. And you are right. What we are doing today is LOD 1. It is level of difficulty is 1 over here. Okay. In my subsequent classes, I'm going to make the questions trickier. Okay. The questions are never tough. The questions are tricky. All right. So it is the trick that we need to overcome. All right. Substitute the phrase. Movies as answer. It should be A, D, fugitive. And is it the answer for all of you? Are you going to go with D as your answer option? Someone who runs away from the law. A delinquent, a juvenile, an exile, a fugitive. All right. The answer is a fugitive. Right. हिंदी में कहते हैं कानून से भागा हुआ. जो कानून से भागा हुआ होता है, he is a fugitive, one who runs away from law. Delinquent is a criminal. A young criminal is a delinquent. Juvenile means young. Okay. Delinquent, one who is given to crime, a criminal. Okay. Especially a young criminal is a delinquent. Exile means when you are living away from your city because the law has forbidden you to enter your city. That is exile. But for this word, for this phrase, the answer is D, a fugitive. I hope the question is clear to you. All right. Let us now look at the next question. What is the antonym of precarious? The antonym of precarious. A, dubious. B, equivocal. C, secure. And D, dicey. The word is precarious. What should be the answer, guys? Movies is marked D. Hassan is marked secure. C. Okay. Remember, my friends, what do we want over here? We require an antonym, means opposite. We require an opposite of precarious. Okay. Now, what does precarious means? Precarious means risky. Precarious means dangerous. Okay. And that is why the answer should have been C, secure. Okay. Dubious means confusing. Equivocal means having more than one meaning. Okay. That's why confusing. Dicey also is confusing, risky. Dicey is risky. Okay. Equivocal is confusing. All right. Dubious, equivocal. The word is ambiguous. Okay. Ambiguous. So for precarious, the answer should have been secure. C is the answer. All right. Okay. Let's do one more. Spotting the error question. Identify the error in the sentence, if any. Neither the bank manager nor the other staff members was able to calm the distressed client. A, not the other. B, was able. C, the distressed client. And D is no error. What is the answer? Okay, Mausam has keyed in B. Ria has keyed in B. Thank you, both of you. All right. So let us see what the answer is actually. Okay, let me give you the answer. It is B, was able. Okay. Why? Because we need a plural verb over here. Understand the concept. The concept is based on neither nor. and it is a concept based on subject-verb agreement. Now understand the situation. Suppose I say neither X nor YZ, or neither XY nor Z. So in these cases, X is singular, XY is plural, YZ is plural, Z is singular. Whenever you have such expressions, always remember the verb goes with the second subject. Okay? The usage of the verb is in accordance with the second subject. If the second subject is plural, use a plural verb. If the second subject is singular, use a singular verb. Alright? Now, practice these concepts to actually iron out all your problems in spotting the error. You start with articles. You will get many questions based on articles. Okay? Second, study the problems of modifiers. Okay, I will be discussing modifiers in detail in the class. Third, the basics of parts of speech. Now, when I say basics of parts of speech, what do I mean? Let me give you an example. Suppose if I say, the aircrafts are stranded as the pilots are on strike. The aircrafts are stranded as the pilots are on strike. So either this question has a problem or it is absolutely fine. What do you think? Does the question have a problem? Read the question very carefully. It says the aircrafts are stranded as the pilots are on strike. Can you see what I have written? Is it visible to you? The aircrafts are stranded as the pilots are on strike. Is my writing visible to you guys? Okay, movie says there is no error. What about the others? Always remember, right? The plural of aircraft is always aircraft. Okay? We don't have aircrafts in English. Okay? So the same word happens to be the plural. Alright? That is why the problem lies with the word aircrafts. I should have said aircraft only. The aircraft are stranded as the pilots are on strike. So what did they check? They checked your concept based on nouns. Alright? Fourth, practice prepositions. Very important. Practice tenses. Narration. Okay? Direct, indirect. And then the concept based on parallel structures. I have missed out on an important concept, that is subject-verb agreement. Alright, these are some of the areas from where the questions are going to be asked. Alright, now when you talk about what to do, what is the to-do plan for you? The to-do plan for you is, this is the to-do plan for you, right? All the solutions to the biggest of problems lies in basics, right? And most of us, right, we don't do our basics right. So the basic problem is our basics are not in proper places. So start with the basics. If you have to go back to class 9, 10 grammar, the fundamentals of grammar, please brush up all your fundamentals. The concepts are important. All right. The concepts which I was just talking about. Okay. Concepts. Practice vocab. Right. Practice vocab. How do you practice vocab? People say that I learn so many words, but I forget. And that is where the problem lies, that we learn words. The mind does not remember the things that we have learned. Mind remembers the things that we have worked on. All right. Let me give you 5 words and you have to give me an answer the way I want you to answer. Let me give you the words first of all. Okay. Let's say the first word is efficacious. The second word is lucrative. The third word is preposterous. The fourth word is dulcet. And the fifth word is ephemeral. Efficacious, lucrative, preposterous, dulcet and ephemeral. So तुम मुझे ये बता सकते हो, sir, we never heard this word before, but sir, we know all the words, or we just know 5 words or 4 words or 3 words, or we are, seeing these words for the very first time. So इसके अलावा और कोई category होगी? नहीं होगी, right? So efficacious, how do you remember efficacious? How do you remember lucrative? How do you remember preposterous? How do you remember dulcet? How do you remember ephemeral? Okay. Utterance is very important. Okay. Utterance. The moment you speak the word out, it starts breathing. You give some breathing space to the words. Like efficacious. Now keep on speaking the word. Bring that word on your tongue. Don't let the word be in your mind. Okay. Right? So, out of sight, out of mind. Keep looking at them. Keep looking at the meanings. Find out the meaning. Efficacious means effective. Right? So, reading 5 to 6 words every day is an efficacious way to learn the words. Efficacious means effective. Now that you know the meaning, do one thing. S-A-S-T. Okay? Speak aloud several times. Speak the word out. Okay, speak the word out. Efficacious, that is very efficacious. Lucrative means profitable. Okay, efficaciously remember them, because remembering the words is a lucrative proposition for your exam. Import export is a lucrative business. Okay, utter the words out. Preposterous means absurd. Right? Learning 100 words in 1 minute. What kind of a proposition is it? It is preposterous. Absurd, doesn't make any sense. Right? So preposterous means absurd, that does not make any sense. Now, how many sentences can we make using preposterous? Okay, it is an adjective. Dulcet means sweet sounding or melodious. Okay, like A.R. Rahman has produced so many dulcet tunes. Ephemeral means fleeting. Ephemeral means temporary. Okay, so 5 to 7 words every day for the next 30 days will do wonders. Okay, and do one thing, push your limit. The idea is not to remember the words. The idea is not to learn the words. The idea is not to forget them. And how do you practice not forgetting the words? By going back to them time and again. Go back to the words time and again. Practice as much as possible, because whenever you speak the words out, the words rush back to you to help you out. All right. So vocab is very important. Number 3, logical thinking. You see, guys, SET vocab or SET English is not a test of English actually. It is a test of your common sense. So when you solve number of questions, right, your logical thinking gets sharpened. And when your logical thinking gets sharpened, you get to solve more questions, and that too with accuracy. Okay, work on your logical thinking, work on the tricks involved in the questions. That is why solving more questions is important, and exactly that is my next point. Practice as many questions as possible. Okay, don't just solve set 1 and set 2 and then you relax. No, at least solve one set every day. Okay, take mocks. Okay, take mocks. Sectional mocks. I call them sectional mocks. 15 to 16 mocks in a week. 2 mocks a day, or you can start with 1 mock a day. 15 to 20 minutes per day you're spending with 1 mock. That will do wonders to your practice. And 16 questions, they're going to be easy questions, SET questions. Symbiosis, 16 questions in vocab. You can get 16 out of 16 provided you practice judiciously, provided you practice with far more maturity. Okay, and that will result in success. Alright, so follow this cycle. It's basics, vocab, logical thinking, practice, mocks, go back to basics. Okay, जितना तेज ये wheel घुमाओगे, this is the wheel of success, उतना ज़्यादा आपको success मिलेगा. Okay, follow these small steps, and I'm going to meet you again in my next class with some more questions. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you people liked it, right? And this is just some announcement for you. The new course for IPM and BBA has been launched. All right, so just in case, all those who are preparing for 23 BBA and IPM, or if you have your friends and relatives preparing for BBA, IPM, and they are eyeing 23, you can share it with them. Or if you are interested, you can also, become a part of it. For any query, call on the given number, or you can write into us for the details. All right. Don't forget to like our channel, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends if at all you find the session valuable. So that's all from BYJU'S Exam Prep today. Download the app now, and with the hope of seeing you on the other side of the story, this is Pradip sir bidding goodbye to you. Practice more and all the best with your CET. Bye-bye all of you.